Hi, I'm Abby from RTINGS.com. Today we'll be doing a review of the Keychron Q3. We'll be evaluating it on our standardized test bench to see how it performs and if you should buy it. Like its name suggests, the Keychron Q3 is the third model in the Q series. Like the others, it's designed to be fully customizable, so you can buy this keyboard in a bunch of different versions. We went with the knobless, fully assembled version with tactile Gateron G Pro Brown switches. While we expect our results to remain consistent for whatever model you buy, the typing experience will be different depending on the switches, keycaps, or whatever else you decide to use in it. The major difference between the Keychron Q3 and the Q1 and Q2 is that the Q3 comes in a TenKeyLess size. This means it lacks a numpad, like the other two, but it keeps the entire navigational cluster instead of just the arrow keys and a few buttons. The design and build quality of this keyboard is incredible. It has that signature gasket-mounted design, which improves the overall feel by adding a bit of bounce while you type. The switches sit inside the board and they're surrounded by a layer of sound-dampening foam, which keeps the noise quiet and pleasant sounding. Considering this keyboard's chassis and baseplate are both solid aluminum, it's pretty hefty. So while it isn't exactly the most portable keyboard, it does stay firmly planted on your desk. The double-shot PBT keycaps have a unique shape that Keychron calls an OSA profile. Basically, they're the same height as a standard keycap, but they're rounder on top. Although the legends aren't shine-through, the LEDs are south-facing, so the light wouldn't come through much anyway. The hot-swappable PCB allows you to plug and play with any 3-pin or 5-pin switch that you want. The board also has screw-in stabilizers that come pre-lubed, but you can easily remove those if you want to change them up. If there's a downside, there aren't any incline settings to angle the keyboard. It could get uncomfortable if you're typing for a while without a wrist rest because it has a pretty high profile. Thankfully, you can buy a wrist rest separately on Keychron's website. Now on to the test results. First, we'll look at some of the extra features of this keyboard. Spoiler alert, there aren't that many. You won't find LED menu screens or RGB volume knobs on this keyboard. Instead, there's a switch on the top left that toggles between Windows and Mac modes, so you can use it seamlessly with either operating system. It also works with Linux when you have the toggle set to Mac mode. You can use hotkeys to control the media and backlighting, and you can find these hotkeys in the user documentation. This keyboard is compatible with the VIA software, and it's QMK supported, and all the necessary files are on Keychron's website. Using the software, you can remap keys and program macros to any key. Just as a note, the key mapping layers are OS specific, so if they aren't working, just check the toggle to make sure it's on the right setting. Obviously, this isn't a gaming keyboard, so while its latency is decent, you probably shouldn't bring this to your next CSGO tournament. On to the typing experience. Out of the box, the tactile Gateron G Pro Brown switches are pre-lubed, so they feel smooth throughout their entire key press. Though their pre-travel distance is fairly long, you're less likely to make typos. They don't take much force to actuate, and the tactile bump doesn't offer a lot of resistance, so typing feels light and responsive. Thanks to the gasket-mounted design and all the foam inside the case, the keyboard is very quiet to type on. With all the stock parts, it sounds great, and you won't have to worry about annoying other people around you. Overall, the uniquely shaped PBT keycaps and pre-lubed switches and stabilizers and the gasket-mounted design creates an excellent typing experience. However, the high profile can cause some wrist fatigue if you type for a while without a wrist rest. Which brings us to the main question: should you buy this keyboard? If you're looking for a customizable keyboard, this is an excellent place to start. Since it comes with such high-quality parts right out of the box, you don't have to spend a small fortune replacing the keycaps or upgrading the stabilizers, unless you want to. While its price point is a bit higher than some other customizable TKL keyboards on the market, you really do get what you pay for. But if you're looking for a TKL keyboard that's a little more multi-purpose, you should check out the Ducky 1.3. While we reviewed the full-size version, it does come in a TKL form factor that's hot-swappable. Its latency is much better than the Keychrons as it's designed for both work and play. It also has incline settings, which you might prefer if you're typing away all day. That's all for this review of the Keychron Q3. If you're interested in learning more, check out the written review on our website.